Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D3. Here today we have some brand new information. So, one thing that the Dokkan Global team is trying to do, and they obviously have been pushing towards this, is trying to be more communicative. Excuse me. Trying to have better communication. All right. So that being said, they did go ahead and release the details for none other than the new upcoming Kaioken Goku. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you're new for more content. And we're going to go over the man here today and just kind of give my opinions on him and how I feel about him and just things that you might have missed. So that being said, let's jump into it. So the new Goku upcoming unit should be dropping in a couple of days. Leader skill is Reps of U7 and Universe Survival Saga categories. Those are the stats, obviously, at just, I'm assuming no boost at all. Yeah, pretty sure no boost. Anyways, pretty positive. We go ahead and scroll over here. He's got 130% HP. He has 3 ki and 170% attack and defense. In my opinion, that is the best split because I've said this in a lot of different videos, I guess, at this point, where it's like, okay, 170 HP and attack is cool, but you need the defense. Like, having more HP isn't really the best thing. Having more defense is better because it doesn't matter how much HP you have, you take no damage. But you could have more HP, but take a lot more damage, if that makes sense. It's fluff, right? So that being said, in my opinion, that's the best split. Funnily enough, it's been popping up a lot more commonly, I'd say, on a lot of units. Anyways, the cool thing about that is Reps of U7 is finally getting their first actual Dokkan Fest category leader. So you take a look at the representatives of Universe 7 category team. These are the only Universe 7 leaders in the game, right? So there's that. We have, it's not the most expansive category in the first place. Like, I think we need a new Gohan and some others, but they didn't really have a leader, right? So if you didn't have this guy, you pretty much couldn't run the team effectively. Now, obviously, 177 is the pinnacle of leader skills. So to reiterate on what I was saying about the split, I meant among the 170 variants. Like, oh, unless it's going to be 170 across the board or higher, right? 150 is good too, but like I meant like in terms of 130 attack to 170 HP and defense. Yeah, that's probably the best defensive split, but you get my point. I meant only with these variations, not 177, right? Somebody probably didn't understand that. Anyways, that being said, it's nice to pick up another option for that team anyway. All right, so Universe Survival Saga now picks up their like 6th? Yeah, it's like something like that. They have 2 Dokkan Fests, and they're going to pick up their 3rd with an STR, and a Tech type. So this team is the one that obviously is going to be getting pretty much the biggest buff from this, I'd say, just because Kale and Caulifla get another unit that can be on their team that's pretty good, even though they pretty much make up the majority of their team anyway. But still, nonetheless, this team, I guess this one's the one that's getting the biggest buff. So the passive skill for this man, he has 59% attack and defense, plus an additional attack and defense plus 10%, with each attack received up to a maximum of 59%. All right, and by the way, that should calculate differently. You can correct me if I'm mistaken, but that should calculate separately. Anyways, plus an additional 59% attack, and attacks effective against all types when performing a super attack if HP is 59% or less once only. Okay, so that was something that we saw in the video. It was up for debate whether or not it was like a test server or if it was an actual like information. But in the video, 2 things were true. At least in our version, there was a Korean version with the Japanese voices because they don't dub it in Korean. And that's a part of the global version, by the way. Anyways, the typings and damage and all that stuff was a little bit different. But I immediately picked up on him having some sort of type effectiveness, and he does have that built in, and he also is an STR type. The damage in that video that from the stream from Dokkan Now was not like, it's not obviously not accurate, right? Some people were like, oh, 400,000 damage is trash, but like he's not gonna, like, that wasn't accurate. But being effective against all types is really good. So they mentioned he is a supremely offensive unit, and that also is aided by the fact that his super attack also greatly raises attack. Yeah, there it is. Greatly raises attack and causes immense damage. That should be a stacking 50% buff. We've seen that before, actually, in the case of the previous Blue Kaioken Goku. He greatly raises 50% attack and does immense damage. It does not fall off unless you're going to take longer than 99 turns, which you're not going to. So yeah, like that's pretty crazy. This guy's going to do a ton of damage. In versus content, like The Goku event, he will shred it. Versus SBR, he will also shred that, even though he won't have the time to build up as readily, you know. But the Goku event is seemingly this guy's best event because he'll be at his absolute peak in terms of having being hit enough to be able to trigger all of that additional boost from the passive. He'll get enough stacks from the super attack, and you're good to go. Another thing that's really interesting about this guy is that they actually named him Kaioken, thankfully. I don't know what was up with them at this time, but I remember when this guy came out, and I remember just completely just bitching so much about it back in 2016. The fact that they did not give him the Kaioken name, because back then, obviously that AGL Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta combo from the Resurrection F movie, those units were really good, and you had to kind of choose. It's like, okay, well, which Goku do I want to use? The other one at points could do better if he was linked with Vegeta. It was weird. So they did actually give this one Kaioken in the name, which means that going forward, obviously when Global gets this, and then when JP gets this, and, you know, we kind of even out where both versions have the same stuff, you will be able to run both these guys on the same team. Now, we go ahead and take a look at this guy's links and stuff, and go from there. Which, by the way, pretty much the same categories, too. He's got reps of U7, which is all you really need, right? So, anyways, and all the other requisite stuff like ROG, Pure Saiyans, yada, yada. So, all right. So, we go ahead and proceed from here. So, the active skill, right? The active skill has conditions on it. It looks like if you have 3 or more Universe 7 category allies in your team once only, you have to kind of piece it together, because in this one it says can be activated when HP is 59% or less with another 3 Universe 7 category allies in your team. So once only. So yeah, you get the active skill if that's the case. So you have to have U7 units on your team, which is not that hard to do. I mean, there's some good ones. Like this guy, for example. Again, he needs his easy on global, but I don't know. Maybe they give it early. I don't know. Maybe that happens as part of the campaign. Who knows? Anyways, that being said, the active skill condition, the Spirit Bomb. Oh, actually, I didn't even realize they had it completely blown up right there. Man, I'm just too hyped for this, apparently. Causes ultimate damage to the enemy and raises allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. So the ally attack raise, pretty neat. Ultimate damage means it's a damaging one, and it's obviously not going to do anything else than that, pretty much. The attack raise is good for the allies for the turn. The way that calculates is a little bit separately, but I mean, it's better than just doing ultimate damage, right? It's nice to have it. So as far as the condition is concerned, it's basically, if you're running his team, right, you need to dip below 59%. What I will say is, outside of his team, when you start looking at some of the other applicable categories, like, he should be on Kamehameha. It's going to be kind of hard to get that there, maybe. It just depends what you're running. Like, you can do it. You can run this guy, you can run this guy, and you also can run, like, I don't know, the AGL SSG Goku, and that should work, right? It says another 3 or more, meaning that you probably need this guy and 3 more, by the way. Just going to put that out there. Need to see how that works, but it says another 3 or more. I would assume that means, you know, 3 or more. And we have to consider how the friend works in terms of that, too. But, like, when you start dipping into other teams, obviously, it might get to a point where you literally can't activate that on certain teams, which just is not great design, in my opinion. But, I mean, without the active skill, he's just fine. He's going to do a ton of damage, right? And in terms of the super effective part of his passive, he gets the additional 59% in effects for super effective when HP is 59% or less, once only. Now, you have a little bit of leeway in here, similar to like Kid Goku, who gets the one-time like crit, and then also gets the active skill. Like you have a little bit of leeway in there where you can do these two together. By the way, for the same turn. This says once only, but it should only be like for the whole turn, just like Kid Goku's built-in crit. It's for the whole turn. This guy should be effective for that whole turn, meaning you can use the active skill, and then from there do the attack. Which, by the way, the active skill, like, it's actually really interesting having the attack increase on the active skill, because that's one of the rare instances where the unit doing the super actually can really, really benefit from it, because he can do the active skill and then turn around and use the super, assuming he didn't beat the enemy, and he'd be able to benefit from that attack increase too. So this guy's actually going to have some crazy high calculations, in my opinion. This guy's really good. He's really good. I like him. Now, last couple things, links and stats. You pretty much just plus like 5,000 of these. His attack will be through the roof. Defense is going to be pretty good. Not great, but it'll be pretty good. Coupled with the defensive raises on the passive, which is why, again, it's good they gave him the 170 defense raise. You just don't need the HP if you have tanky units on your team, right? You just don't need it. At least you'll still have like 400,000 minimum, I'd say, if you have a good comp. So, yeah, I think he's really good. We take a look at the links, though. Godly Power, Warrior Gods, Super Saiyan, and Kamehameha. He pretty much shares a link set with pretty much this guy, or a better buddy, I think, will be AGL SSG. I think they share pretty much all the same links. Godly Power, Shocking Speed. You have Shocking Speed. You do not. You have Godly Power, Warrior Gods, Super Saiyan, and Kamehameha. So Godly Power, Warrior Gods, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Over in a Flash, Fierce Battle. They share pretty much everything. Tournament of Power kicks in. This guy is from the Tournament of Power, but he does not have that link. But I mean, that's fine. Over in a Flash and Fierce Battle is all you need. He's got a ton of attack links. They gave him 2 key links and a bunch of attack links. This guy's going to hit so freaking hard, bro. He's going to be good. He's going to be really good. So, yeah, there we go. Let me know what you guys think about him. Overall, though, like I said, these 2 teams are going to be picking up a very potent unit, U7 and USS. But don't sleep on him on, like, Pure Saiyans or whatever, because even if you're not able to get the active, he's still going to be incredibly hard-hitting, right? He's going to do a ton of damage. And I think some of those teams could use, the teams he's applicable to, could use another hard-hitting unit like this. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think, what you guys feel about this guy. Are you excited? Was he what you expected? How would you tune him to make him a little bit more to your liking? So on and so forth. Have an awesome day, everyone, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one. And if you haven't joined the Discord or any of that social media, checking out Twitch and all that stuff, please do so. Link is down below for you right now, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.